Mr. Larry Stammer had just walked in, a great guy. He's a true public servant for the good people of the 26th County Board District in this once great county of St. Clair. Larry Stammer, it's always an honor and a privilege. How the hell you doing today, buddy?
I'm doing great, Bob. I really appreciate you letting me on the show today, and I've been out working hard, standing up for honest government and fighting the Mark Kern and culture corruption bunch is a full-time job, and I'm putting in the hours.
Hey, Larry, I saluted you before you came on the air here, before you arrived. You were a Democrat. You could have laid back. You could have drank the Kern Kool-Aid. You could have been a county board member the rest of your life because you are a proud Democrat. I know you're a union man. You're a proud Democrat. But and I talked for you earlier. I don't know if it's true, but I said I think Larry Stammer just got tired of the culture of corruption, and him being elected was secondary. He wanted to represent the people properly, and he couldn't do it. You can't do it by supporting Kern in St. Clair County. Is that true?
That's true, Bob. I've always been there 16 years. I've been there for my constituents. I've worked hard for them. I've worked very hard to understand the issues, try to vote the right way that's going to benefit my constituents the most. It's a tough job, and like everybody else in life, you get to those points in life where you have a decision to make. And I got to that point. I didn't blink, and I decided that I would always remain true to my constituents. And so I'm an independent Democrat and an old Harry Truman Democrat, JF&K Democrat, 60 years. I wasn't going to change. I wasn't going to sell out myself to Kern or anybody else. I was going to stand with my constituents. That's the people that hired me and pay my salary, and that's the people I'm supporting and working for.
You know what? It's amazing, Larry, and I like what you said. You're an independent Democrat. What a great country this would be if everybody was either a great independent Democrat, a great independent Republican, or a great independent. I mean, why the hell does somebody have to follow party lines? And I'll segue off on mine. I'm running as a Republican. But if the Democrats do something for my district, the 114th district, that's going to benefit my people and the state, I'm not going to say, Madigan, as much as I hate that son of a bitch, I'm not going to say, Madigan, I'm voting against you because you're a Democrat. I'm going to vote for what's good for my people, just like you do, Larry. And I'm tired of this partisan politics. We got to get away from it. And I heard a poll, Larry, that has said 45% of the people now identify as independents. And so the rest are Democrats or Republicans. So the independents have become the majority party. And I hope people understand that in your election. Don't vote for you because you're a Democrat. Vote for you for what you've done for the people in your county board district. You've done a great job. That's why you should get the vote, not because there's a D or an R behind your name.
Well, Bob, it is an issue, and I think the Freedom Coalition has come up with the perfect answer: to vote the person, not the party. And that's a tough thing for a lot of people to wrap their mind around and understand. But at a certain point, we got to stop voting for people because they're a Republican or a Democrat. We got to start voting for people because they're going to go in there and be honest and work hard for their constituents. And I'll reference something here. You know, I'll go back. I am a Democrat, and I'm not with the Republicans, but I'm certainly going to support any Freedom Coalition candidate that's standing up for the people. The problem we have, and I'll reference that flyer they sent out about you, Bob.
I love the picture, but go ahead.
They got Ronald Reagan on there, who, forget about that he was a Republican. Talk about what Ronald Reagan did. And two things that really stick out in my mind is that he come up with a Star Wars thing, and he killed the Cold War. He ended the Cold War, and I think that's a great thing.
Sure.
And then the other thing was he come forward and did the thing at the gate at the Berlin Wall, and that wall come down. I mean, that's presidential,
right?
And I'm going to talk here as a Democrat. Our party in St. Clair County, the Democratic Party, the proud party that I've been a member of for 60 years, has been hijacked, infiltrated, invaded. We have this Mark Kern and the culture of corruption squatting in our proud party here. We've got to get them out. I mean, I'm not going to apologize for the flyer because that wasn't me. That's not right. That's not the kind of Democrat I am, Bob. And what I want to say is that it's an embarrassment to me, but this is what happens when you let somebody take over your party that's not out there working for the people anymore. They're working for the few. It's the few for the few, and it's a problem. And it's an embarrassment to me as a Democrat to see that anybody would send that out.
Yeah.
And I think it's really energized the Republican Party is what it's done.
Larry, do you think people are that stupid? And see, even Democrats, Republicans, independents that have got that flyer on me, and I love it. I'm using that picture on my flyer when I start sending them out. But that's how the Democratic culture of corruption think that we're all stupid in St. Clair County. Now, finally, after 50 years of screwing the Republicans and screwing the good Democrats like you, the true Democrats, they're sending something out warning the Republicans. Cost them $45,000 to send that nice hit piece out on me. Warning the Republicans, don't be for Bob Romanek and the Freedom Coalition and the Republican ticket, because they're bad. Larry, if we were bad for the Republicans in this county, they would have kept their mouth shut. The culture of corruption. They're desperate, Larry. They are desperate. They don't know what to do. The bullies have been called out into the street, and guess what? They're not coming out.
You're exactly right, Bob. And the feedback I get from my folks that are Democrats and proud of it is we're really concerned about this bunch that's hijacked our party. Mark Kernan, the culture of corruption. We want our party back. We want the proud Democratic Party back in St. Clair County. They sent a hit piece out on me. I'm sure there's another one coming out. The only thing I can say about it, Bob, is that the picture on there, well, I'll just be humble here and say the picture they put on their flyer, it actually makes me, I look better in the picture than I do in real life.
I got to agree with you, Larry. I got to agree. And you know what I got to say? How the hell can you be at two places at one time? It appeared to me with that picture that your face was all red. They've tried to distort it a little bit, but it looks like that you were down in Florida for the last 2 months with that sunburn that they give you.
Well, Bob, that's just the way it is. And that's a color I get when I get mad at the stuff that Mark Kernan and the culture of corruption are doing to my constituents and the people of St. Clair County. And another thing, they did spell my name right in the flyer, so I guess I'm grateful for that. And Bob, there's a lot of stuff going on, and I think the Freedom Coalition and the people of St. Clair County need to pay attention, and I think we need to get out and vote. That's how the culture of corruption stays in power, is people don't come out and vote. We've got a primary here. I know a lot of people don't want to come in and declare they're a Democrat or declare they're a Republican. But if you're in District 26 where I'm at and you want honest government, you're going to have to walk in and declare you're a Democrat and vote for me. That's just the simple facts there. It's at a certain point, people need to walk across the street, walk down the street, get in their car and drive, and go vote. That's how our country works best, and that's how you get good, honest people in government. Is we have a big turnout and we have a lot of people voting, and that's going to be for the best benefit of everybody in St. Clair County. My opponent, kind of a disappointment in many ways to me. He hasn't said what he stands up for on his literature. He's basically telling everybody nothing about him or what he believes in, and it's a shame. Yeah,
I'll tell you, Larry, we're going to take a quick break. We're going to come back, and we've got Mr. Scott Tiemann with us. He'll be with us momentarily, but I would ask you, I'm going to put you on the spot. I'm running for state rep in the 114th District. Mid-America Airport's there. I've talked to Roger Cook, who will make a great county board chairman. We're going to fight, Larry, and we hope that you, as a Democrat, would fight with us for all the people of St. Clair County to address this Mid-America Airport. Now, I don't know exactly what can be done, but I want that financial burden, because we've got enough financial burden for all of our hardworking taxpayers in St. Clair County. I would ask now that if you would pledge to work with us, not a political with us, but a people with us, to do something to get this tax burden off the good people of St. Clair County.
Well, Bob, I'm going to do exactly what I and other members of the board have been doing. We're going to try to somehow get control and responsibility for the airport, find out what's going on out there, crunch the numbers, and see what we can do that is in the best interest of the taxpayers and the people living in St. Clair County.
What else is on your plate? What do you have to say to the good people of your district and your county?
Well, Bob, I'll switch back to my opponent again. Like I've said, and I've always been a proud Democrat, my opponent won't even put Democrat on his literature or on his political signs. What's up with that? Are you ashamed of the Democratic Party? What's going on with that? And Bob, I'm a proud union member. My dad and my grandpa, who sadly both passed away, and myself and my uncle, we have over 200 years of membership in Local 101 Plumbers and Fitters right here in Belleville. And I was out watching my opponent out working with some people, and my opponent has a notorious union buster out working for him. He's supposed to have a union card in his pocket. I'm starting to wonder. He had Frank Bergman, a guy that tried to bust the unions and break them down and caulk them.
Jesus. Well, you know what, though, Larry? That means that he's got Kern. That means Kern's supporting Tiemann, which means everybody in your district ought to vote for you because, see, the culture of corruption just wraps around. They tell me that Scott Tiemann didn't even want to run, but they wanted somebody against you to show you that if you didn't step and fetch for them and you didn't do what they wanted to do instead of what your people wanted, that they were going to do something to you.
My position as a county board member and my position as a union member, neither one of them are for sale to anybody. I simply work for my constituents and I stand up for them, Bob.
Well, I'll tell you, Larry, I know you're not drinking the Kern Kool-Aid because you could have had that seat forever. I want to applaud you and thank you for helping fight the culture of corruption. And who do I have next to you, Larry?
You have Scott Tiemann here.
Mr. Scott Tiemann, it's an honor and a privilege. How the heck you doing today, sir?
Well, I'm pretty good, Bob. Thanks a lot for having me on.
Well, listen, you don't look like your picture. You're the real Scott Tiemann, aren't you?
Yes, I am. I'm the real Scott Tiemann, born and raised in Belleville. I know how to spell my last name. It's with 2 N's, not one.
But, you know, what they tell me, Scott, that there's a lot of people that are confusing you for this idiot. And I say idiot because he's an idiot for Mark Sweet Cakes Kern. He didn't want to run for county board, but Kern put him out there because Larry Stammer was a man and stood up to Kern. But they say you got a lot of people, and people are a little confused because you've made a good name for yourself. I just hope that they don't confuse you, the good Scott Tiemann, with this idiot, this shill that Mark Kern has put up against the candidate Larry Stammer, a fighter for his county board district.
Well, you're right, Bobby. I'm driving down the road and I see the signs that say Scott Tiemann, and I'm starting to question myself whether or not I'm running. So I just wanted to come on the radio. I knew Larry was going to be here, and to let all my friends and family know that I'm not running for politics. I never will be into politics. So when it comes time to vote, do not vote for Scott Tiemann. Do not vote for me.
Do not vote. Hey, now that's really novel. We have Scott Tiemann, the candidate against Larry Stammer. Then we have Scott Tiemann saying, "Don't vote for Scott Tiemann, vote for Larry Stammer." Now, I think that's good. It's a little confusing, but Scott, I'm glad that you stopped by because you've got a great reputation in Belleville and surrounding area. You used to be a businessman. Everybody's got a lot of respect for you. It'd be a shame for somebody to vote for Scott Tiemann because they think they're voting for the good Scott Tiemann, then instead of this idiot that's a shill. You got hair. This guy doesn't have hair, this Scott Tiemann here, but this Scott Tiemann that's running against Larry Stammer is, and I've heard of him, he's out there only because Kern put him out there. So people, for anybody against Kern, don't vote for this Scott Tiemann because he's an idiot. He's drinking the Kern Kool-Aid. Larry Stammer refuses to be a shill for the Democratic culture of corruption. He's a true Democrat. But there's not Democrats, people, running St. Clair County. They're the black sheep. They're the renegades. They're the thieves. They're the political thieves. They're the political mafia. So if you're a good Democrat, don't let Kern and Sprague and Bear Civic say you got to vote for us because we're Democrats. No, you good people are the true Democrats. These are the black sheep that have to be getting rid of. Larry Stammer, going to give you the last word, buddy.
Yeah, Bob, just to let everybody know, I've known Scott Tiemann, the Belleville one, the real one, for many years. When I started, I used to work for Illinois Power Company. When I started there, his dad worked there. And I can tell you that his dad was an icon, a saint of a man. When people needed to know how to do their job and had questions about how to do their job right, they went to his dad because he was the guy that had the answers and could tell you how to do things, not only just about your job, but about things in life. And I had such an admiration for Scott's dad, James H. Tiemann, Jimmy Tiemann, that I named my son after him. That's how I go back with the Tiemanns. And quite frankly, quite a few of them actually worked out of my union hall and been members for years. I mean, when you say the Tiemann name in Belleville and you associate it with Plumbers and Fitters Local 101, you're talking about very, very skilled union craftsmen that show up every day for the job. give an employer a day's work for day's pay, and do the best job that could possibly be done. It's a real I guess it's a great thing for me to be actually associated with the Tiemanns and worked with them, and I have a lot of respect for them. They're good, honest people.
Mr. Larry Stammer, thank you very much. Mr. Scott Tiemann, thank you. Mr. Larry Stammer's running for county board on the 26th County Board District. He'll be up this Tuesday. People, please, if you want to help get rid of the culture of corruption, give Larry Stammer a vote, because people like him are going to stand up to these rotten, no-good son of a bitches that we've had for the last 50 years. It's promised us for the last 50 years, then have screwed us for the last 50 years. Larry Stammer, again, thank you very much. The best of luck to you